Is Caitlin here today?
No, she isn't.
Karis?
Karis is here.
Daniela is here. Gabriella is here. Are both Lucas here?
Yeah, both Lucas are here.
Mason is here. Hey, Nick, are you here? Is Nick here? Stefano? Are Nick and Stefano here, guys?
Yes, they are here.
Okay, so cool. Okay, so I've got something from Luca Frontini. I've got something from Daniela. Mason seems to have accidentally crossed something out and then put it back, I think. I'm not sure. What about the rest of you? What's happening?
I sent Mark's one. I put the mark before it to show that it was
cool.
Mark's one. He's not a part of the AS English Mates, but
Okay. So I just want to look at what Mark said here. Who has the power to punish him? This makes people question the need for a governing figure, therefore persuading the reader. Yes, you're correct. That a rhetorical question is a persuasive technique. In terms of phrasing that, I think perhaps a better way to phrase it would be something like the rhetorical question, who has the power to punish him, makes people question whether a governing figure is just, which aligns the audience with the perspective of the speaker, because anarchists do not believe that wait, I just need to find this direct quote to check that I'm on the right track here. Do you know more or less where this quote is, or maybe I can just search it?
I think it's near the middle. It's like the paragraphing is weird on the phone, so I can't tell you which paragraph it is.
Okay, so no one is.
Screenshot I can roughly.
I found it. No one is safe or secure as long as he must submit to the orders, whim, or will of another who has the power to punish him. Okay, so it was part of that, the greater context of that sentence. So yes, I was on the right track. So.
Sorry, I should have added more onto it, or gone further up.
So what we do there is we talk about the fact that it aligns the audience with the perspective of the speaker, because it makes the listener question whether the government can be trusted. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
So anarchism is, the root of anarchism is the belief that if you have power over another one, you will abuse it. People abuse their power over others. And so giving the government power over you, they have the ability to abuse it. And she has just explained how this power has been abused by talking about how these people were legally assassinated.
So I should have mentioned how people oftentimes, and in this context, abuse their power. So I should have said, or I should have mentioned the fact that people abuse their power in reference to the quote, or what she's trying to persuade the people to see it.
Yeah, it's more a thing of the fact that she's almost at this point making anarchism seem logical. So I literally know maybe 4 anarchists, because anarchism isn't a popular idea. I mean, it was people are caught up in consumerism. Anarchism is just not such a big idea necessarily. There are a lot of people who are anarchists, but it's not even 1% of the population. So if we look at this, when you read what she has written here, what she said here, you the audience get to a point where you're like, actually, was this just? And so originally what I said was it's a rhetorical question. but it says whim or will of another who has the power to punish him, to send him to prison, to take his life, to dictate the terms of his existence, even from the cradle to the grave. So it's talking about how no one is safe or secure. And I really, like, you have the right idea. I just feel like you could have really taken this. This is a really good point to take if you had just taken a little bit further.
Is rationalization a form of persuasion? Because you're rationalizing a certain...
Yes, rationalization is a form of persuasion. Okay, if you ask yourself, okay, who knows any narcissists?
Me.
Okay.
Apparently Luke is a narcissist.
Ask yourself, what would a narcissist do? How would a narcissist convince you that they're right? Because a narcissist always convinces you that they're right, even when they're very wrong. And so how would a narcissist convince you that they're right? They're going to rationalize. They're going to make it seem as if they are the most intelligent person in the room. They're going to... so that's what they're going to do. So if we look at this, no one is safe, no one is secure. So she is basically pointing out to them that they are not safe or secure. And what does every person want?
So is she pointing out the fact that there's a lack of control with a governing figure, like you as a person aren't that big of a... have that much of an influence on something, essentially.
Yes, she's saying you cannot control your life because there's a government who can kill you at any time. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, let's see. I cannot speak to my fellow anarchists, but for myself, I wish to say that I've been so furiously... sorry, Gabriel, I didn't see you were here. So what we're doing at the moment... sorry for ending the lesson earlier on. I just got confused. So what we're currently doing is we're taking this Anarchist Looks at Life, and everyone is looking for persuasive techniques that have been used. So you look for the persuasive technique, and you look at how effective it was, why it is effective, whatever. Just make some kind of statement. I cannot speak for all my fellow anarchists, but for myself, I wish to say that I've been so furiously busy living my life that I had not a moment left to look at it. I am aware that...
This is my opinion, by the way. That was my persuasive technique. Luca.
In terms of a quote, Luca, do not quote such long pieces, shorter pieces for quoting, hey? I'm aware that a period comes to everybody when we are obliged, perforce, to sit back and look at life. So when you're quoting, find the snippet within the quote that expresses it the most. So it might be that the whole quote expresses what you're thinking, but find the part of the quote that expresses it the absolute most. Does that make sense?
So then I would do the one where it says, I'm aware that a period comes to everybody when we are obliged to force to sit and look back life, instead of the whole thing that I gave.
Yeah, that's probably a better idea. She targets a large audience, therefore more people will be persuaded by her. She is a topic that people can relate to, their lives and how difficult they are to persuade the audience towards her way of thinking. Okay, let me just read that again. She targets a large audience, therefore more people will be persuaded by her. Okay, this piece that you've quoted has nothing to do with her audience size. So do you want to explain that to me?
Honestly, I kind of just I felt a little bit of pressure.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what kind of looks like something that is persuasive, and I just kind of thought that she was trying to this was a part of her audience because she was talking about life and how difficult it is. So then I thought, oh, she's trying to relate to people because everyone has a moment in their life where they are
Okay,
where
cool.
they are struggling.
I get that. Okay, so let's rephrase. By speaking about everybody, she makes it a universal problem that people are faced with, or a universal experience that people have, which relates to every member of the audience. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Do you see how that expresses what you're saying in a clearer way? So often what I find with my AS students is not that they cannot think, it's not that they cannot figure out what's going on, it's that they don't know how to communicate their thoughts. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay. She uses a topic that people can relate to, their lives and how difficult they are, to persuade the audience towards her way of thinking. Okay, then I would say here, at this point, she has the audience feeling like they can relate to her. And when the audience feels like they can relate to her, they're more likely to take to heart everything else that she says.
So it's more of like an introduction and not really that they're fully persuaded.
They're not persuaded at this point, but they are basically warmed up so that they can be persuaded. So yes, it is a persuasive technique. It is a way of building trust in her. Does that make sense? I will at some point do a lesson on ethos, pathos, and logos, and we'll see how different techniques that we use achieve different things for the audience. Let's check this one. It means going against public opinion and the laws and rules of one's country. A lot of people like being different, and this makes them seem unique. Some may be attracted to this kind of idea and thus be persuaded by it. Okay. Do I say that Luan?
Hello, Luan, yeah.
Okay, cool. So what you're saying here is that people like being rebels, right? People like being not the same as the crowd. Is that what you're saying here? And so if that is what you're saying, okay, this is why it is very important that you have a good general knowledge and some kind of understanding of history. Maybe they won't give you something from 1933, so you won't really need to apply this. Is anyone here taking history? Anyone in the class taking history? Hello? Can you guys hear me? Testing. Guys, Lou, I lost you. I lost everyone. Hey, Gabriella.
Hi.
Have you found any persuasive techniques?
I'm not really sure what we're doing because the entire time
I actually stopped the lesson to explain to you what you were doing when I saw you were here, but I didn't realize that you weren't able to hear me. I'm sorry. Maybe. Okay, so maybe next time, if there is going to be some kind of like power outage and your internet is bad in the area, you can go directly to the YouTube stream. So I've pasted a link to Google Classroom to the playlist of all the recordings. And there you'll also see the YouTube stream that is currently happening during the lesson time. And I don't know whether a YouTube stream will give you a clearer view because it will pause when your internet is problematic. So I don't know if that will work better for you in future if you are having issues. Do you think that would work better for you?
Yeah, I think it might, yeah.
And then you can always just like, if you're seeing me live, whatever, then you can also just like, if we're doing something in the chat or whatever, then you can just open the chat on Discord and just send me a message in the chat and participate with the rest of the class. Is that cool?
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay. Let me just see what Luca said. Okay, they're having lots of technical problems. Okay, so what we're doing, Gabriella, is we're looking at an anarchist looks at life, and we're looking for persuasive techniques within the piece. So where any persuasion has happened, identify it, and then tell me, like, give me some kind of explanation of it. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are back. Hey, again. So Luan, can I talk to you again?
Can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Okay. So what we
All right, so it's come up.
Luan, can I talk to you? Is that Luan speaking?
Yes, this is Luan speaking.
Okay, just by the way, everyone, I'm really bad at recognizing voices, like incredibly bad at it. I'm more of like a face person. So yeah. Again, so I hear what you're saying here, and that is valid for 2022. However, this was not really a time of great rebellion. Like, the public kind of supported the government. Like, this is after World War One. The public, you know how today it's like all the rage to be a rebel? That wasn't the vibe then. So that only really happened. Yeah, it just wasn't fitting with the time. So this would be a very valid point. If it wasn't for the time period that it was written, that the speech happened. Does that make sense? However, I do want to point out that the people
Yes.
the people who were most likely to revolt against the government, the people who were most likely to make moves against public opinion would be those into literature. So there you do have a point. Okay? I just don't think that it is a strong enough point to make, considering the context. So depending on whoever's marking your paper, they may accept this or reject this. And we want you to find things that are going to be accepted every time. However, in terms of critical thinking, this is a very good point. Well done. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, now I legitimately do need to go to another lesson this time. This is not a drill. Can you guys finish that text analysis for me for tomorrow? You saw how I looked at the things that you guys said today and I adjusted how you phrase things so that you can phrase them more clearly. Like, you guys all had good points, just the way that you phrased them wasn't the most effective. So I want you to go and, while you're doing your text analysis, make sure that you are writing in the most effective way possible. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And then, Gabriella, if after you've watched the recording, if you are stuck on anything, please do send me a message, okay? Cool. Bye, guys.